Welcome to Beautiful Angel Blossom's magical YouTube channel. Lots of fun here. Gaming videos to cooking and trying food to a whole lot more. Angel is a very random and magical girl. Lots of love.
Woo woo! Hi everybody! It's your girl Angel here. How's everyone doing on this romantic Friday night? I don't know why it's so romantic. It's blazing hot outside. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Let's hang on. I keep on forgetting to do this really quick. But let me open up another window here and we can start the show because I need to chat. I need chat. OBS does not do chat anymore, apparently. I need chat. I keep on forgetting to keep turning this on. I can always do it on my other computer, but I don't want to turn on my other computer. And sorry about last night's stream. I think it was last night's stream. I can't remember, to be honest. Oh my god. Yes, last night's stream, that virtual thing went off the rails and it wasn't really that great. So, yep. Hello, everyone, Face here. Let me share this to socials really quick because I keep forgetting to share it to Blue Sky. Blue, 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 blue sky. Follow me on Blue Sky, Beautiful Angel Rose, or at angelpavinci.bsky.social. Nah. Days. Puzingo. I'm crazy, okay? Your girl has completely lost her mind and everything else. So yeah, we're doing this stuff. I'm gonna share this to somebody on Messenger. I'm just doing messengers. How come every time I go and share something on Messenger, it wants to be stupid? Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can proceed to... no. I think, wow, it wanted to add a bunch of V's. Facebook wanted to add a bunch of V's. Okay, just go ahead and continue to do that, Facebook. Alright. Okay. Now that's out of the way. We got chat going on. Chat can go over here on this window because that's the way it needs to go. So let's pop up here to Facebook really quick and let's... Apparently iRacing just released a trailer to NASCAR 2005, and let's just put it this way, people have said this is a joke. So let's watch for ourselves and let's see. All right, let's watch. That's it. So, we have some stuff made in PowerPoint. Okay. We have looks to be Bristol. Let's go back and let's examine that really quick. Yeah, that's Bristol. Boy, the colors look really bad. It almost looks like it could be black and white, but it's not. And then we got William Byron, Gag Me. Looks like hitting the wall, going by. What's this? Yeah. Well, that's not good, is it? Forza has better graphics. Let's watch this really quick. That's clearly under 30 frames per second. I mean, when you have the animation sequence better frame rate than the actual little bitty game clip, oh boy. Ugh. That's not great. So, it says, iRacing says NASCAR 25 will be released on October 24th. That sucks. That's all they give us? That's it. Okay. I don't accept all cookies. Yeah, I can't view anything on X because it's all last year's stuff. I thought they might have give a little bit more, but I can't view stuff. Okay, go to their YouTube. Do they have anything on their YouTube? No. Do they have a website? Standalone website? Of course they don't. Alright, here it goes. Alright. This was updated 1 day ago. iRacing and NASCAR announces new NASCAR 25 console games will be launched this fall, October 14, 2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox X and S, with PC via Steam at a later date. Frig you. Frig you. What the living... Okay, so the consoles get their stuff first, meanwhile, while PC players have to wait. to play the game. I guess we'll continue to play NASCAR Heat 5. Well, people said, well, you can always do iRacing. No. iRacing costs tons of money. It requires a sim setup, steering wheels, and everything. All I have is an Xbox controller, and that's all I should need to play the game. Anyways. They don't even give a reason. Steam at a later date. The game is developed on a PC. Right? The video game is developed on a computer, and then they port it over to the consoles. Why in the heck do they delay the PC port? Never mind. You know what? It's not worth me getting spun up over. And my little thing just fell down over here. It's not worth me spinning over. I got to put out the stop sticks right now because I'm going to spin out over this. Oh my God. Well, if it does not come out in October, November, or December, I don't want it. Because I was going to maybe get it around the holidays. But if it doesn't come out until way after the holidays, I ain't playing it. You're going to continue to see video gameplay from NASCAR Heat 5. They give us a really bad preview of a very, very, very poor frame rates, and now they're going to say, we'll release at a later date on PC. Are you people smoking something? Video games are made on a computer and then ported over to the game consoles, and the game consoles are just merely PCs. The PlayStation 5 is a PC with the custom Linux OS on it. The Xbox is basically a PC with the Windows Core added. It's a Windows Core operating system. It's basically Windows Core and the handheld Xbox is coming out around the holidays, and it's just going to run Windows. And guess what? You will not be able to play this game on that device. It bugs me. It bugs me. It bugs me. I've been waiting for this game for a while now, right? And now, as a PC player, because I don't want to play iRacing, as a PC player, you're going to make us wait. And as a person that knows what it goes into the developing video games, you guys make the freaking game on a PC. You guys make sure it's running on a PC. Then you port it over to game consoles. It's not a big swing from a PC to a game console anymore. They're basically PCs. It's not like it was back in the Xbox 360 era or the PlayStation 3 era when it basically had power PC architecture that was way different than, I don't know, PCs that ran x86 instruction sets and the power PC did not. So there was way more different development, but it was still at the core developed on the PC, and then they developed the code on the PC, then they adapted it for the consoles back in the day. They basically just port a PC port over with different graphic settings for each console. For the hardware. Because the games consoles are basically PCs. They're AMD x86, x64 based hardware. Anyways, rant over with. That pisses me off. I'm pretty for sure my blood pressure just reached a dangerous level. Thank you, iRacing. I already lost interest in that. I already lost interest in it. Okay, let's
waves that provides this kind
all right, let's
of
Alex has some updates on this Karen group called Collective Shout. Time to get my blood pressure going even more. It's going to be a night. Because bad news is coming. Let's get ready.
best memes that my community has in fact created is when they found my Steam account during a live stream, and then it's become now an actual running gag
Oh my
that
God,
while
the
I'm
asset from dinner
streaming,
tonight.
they are going to be sending me video games on Steam. Not just any video games, the most debaucherous, the most lecherous, the most honestly disturbing games you can find on the platform, and making me accept them to my Steam account while I am streaming. No, I'm not kidding. Just take a gander at some of these bad boys right over here.
Oh my God.
That's been kind of fun to see.
Oh my.
And open up while you're live, and then have to just sit there and say, "Thank you for the gift. I appreciate."
Because some of those games could get you into trouble on YouTube.
It. The thing is, though, it turns out that these games are basically under attack. Not just the games, though. Your actual
I have some more information regarding this, but we're just going to keep that in a little bit.
ability as an adult and consumer to make the decisions on what you want to purchase with your hard-earned money on a platform is what's under attack. You see, I'm not a fan of censorship in many senses of the word, because
I'm not either.
in all respect,
I could be sitting here naked right now, and you would never know it. I'll leave that up to your imaginations. I'm sure I probably pissed off some Karens, but oh well.
Who the f*** are you to tell me what to do? But the thing is, it turns out that payment processors are trying to be the morality police. A bunch of people just walking around the table deciding where you put your money and how you spend it to determine what they...
Can you imagine that you go into a restaurant, right? Can you imagine you go into a restaurant and you order a turkey club and you get a little extras on it like avocados and things like that, and you get a turkey club and you get a bubble tea and things like that, and then all of a sudden it says your card has been denied by your bank or your credit card because they don't think that's appropriate for you to eat.
feel is appropriate for you to buy, and it can fall down a massive slippery slope that honestly I don't think anyone wants to go down. Here's what's going on. According to Niche Gamer, they tweeted this out the other day. Steam updates its rules to comply with payment processor censorship, purges multiple titles, details below. Now, honestly, that seems a little bit intense if you ask me. I've never been a fan of having a company or corporation try to dictate to me what I can and cannot purchase, especially a company and corporation who has my actual money. Telling me what I can and can't buy with my own money kind of rubs me the wrong way. But let's see what's actually happening in the article from Niche Gamer down below. Steam, the largest PC gaming platform, has recently updated their rules for developers to prohibit content that may run afoul of the nebulous standards of payment processors. According to Automaton, the new rules remain vague and directly mention how this restriction is mandated by payment processors, such as card networks and banks, saying the developers should not submit.
Oh boy. Hang on, I gotta reply to something. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, we're good.
And I quote, content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular, certain kinds of only content. Now, this isn't the first time this has actually occurred. In fact, many payment processors have done this already. They've done it to sites like OnlyFans, Fansly, Patreon, and DL Site, and many other sites in Japan as well, restricting what can and cannot be purchased with that actual payment provider, in effect making a direct form of censorship for the actual customer and consumer, even though it is that consumer's direct money they are choosing to spend at these locations for that kind of content. It's one thing if it was the government saying, hey, this is illegal to purchase, you should not have this, and hey, yeah, totally. If it's that kind of content, I totally agree. It's another thing, though, when they just...
Sorry about that. I had to do something really, really fast. So, yeah, it's basically like the credit card companies and the banks telling you what you can and cannot buy. This is stupid. This is stupid. In my opinion, it's stupid.
Simply just legal content that is available for the consumer to purchase, and the actual payment processors are the ones refusing to complete the actual transaction because they want to have the morality check in place.
Fuck the morality check. And I'm sorry about my language, but it's not up to the credit card companies or the banks or anything to say what you can and cannot buy. If it's legal, like those games or a movie or something, you know, so what if the movie has a sex scene in it, right? So what if that has it? If somebody wants to watch that movie, the banks, the credit card companies shouldn't tell people what they can and cannot watch. If it's legal, then people should be able to watch it, and people should be able to play those video games. Do you understand? This is a slippery slope, like Alex has said, because what's next? Just like I gave the for example, they don't deem that sandwich is appropriate for you to eat. This is bad. And something has to be done to stop it.
Of what you can and cannot buy. In fact, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Asmongold replied to the Niche Gamer tweet saying this: payment processor monopolistic censorship is one of the biggest unchecked cartels right now. Regulation is needed to either break up these companies or guarantee a degree of service. It's not a free market, quote unquote, when every company operates collectively. And Asmongold is actually correct.
I agree.
It's not a free market when every single payment processor behaves the exact same way or has the same morality being brought to you.
Holy crap, it's 10:30. I've lost some time somewhere.
As a customer and consumer, if you want to buy My Therapist is a Futanari 1, 2, and 3, I think you should be able to do so. Again, it is not illegal material that you are trying to purchase, and having giant monopolistic conglomerate corporations dictating to you what you can do with your money and where you can spend it is beyond another set of approach, because this becomes a massive slippery slope as they then get to decide what is okay for you and not for you yourself as an actual adult and free human being. I think that is the major.
I've been following a lot about Collective Shout and their connections to Moms for Liberty, which is a terrorist group in my opinion, and the 1 Million Moms group that only has 10 members. And I've been following this whole thing on TikTok and on social media. And, well, there's something interesting that I'm going to bring up a little bit later. It's pretty bad.
issue between all of this. Having companies dictate what you can and cannot purchase, depending upon their morality being placed onto you, is the bigger issue.
I don't give a crap about the morality of the people that's running the banks. It's none of their damn business what people do with their own money.
Of all. In fact, I had to go and double check to make sure this rule was true, and it was. This is the actual website for onboarding on Steam.
Holy crap.
Rule number 15 was recently added. The problem is when I use the Wayback Machine, this was added recently.
Oh,
and
that's
we can
not
see
good.
here that the most recent update for
That's
the
not
Wayback
good.
Machine showing that Rule 15 is not in effect is as early as April 14th of this very year, which means between April and July, something had to occur for Valve to literally, in my opinion, bend the knee towards actual payment processors and providing a new rule determining
Why don't people just stand up against this stuff? I can't figure it out. Stand up against it.
what they can dictate to choose what can and cannot be on Steam's storefront, a direct open platform. Many of the rumors going around, though, seem to be pointing towards an initiative called Collective Shout. And I'm going to say this right now, it seems to be a bunch of Karens screeching about things they don't like and trying to get things taken down. In fact, here's a direct statement on their main page. Since our launch in 2010, we have achieved many wins. Billboards objectifying women pulled down, clothing withdrawn from sale, violent games banned, Andrew Tate's pimping courses removed from Spotify, and an age verification trial underway to help protect kids from exposure to last year saw 34 record wins.
They better be careful with that 34.
I'm going to be real, guys. Y'all should change that number to at least 33 or 35. Trying to use the number 34 is not going to be a good way to put that on the internet. Just letting you guys know that right now. But things get to be a little bit more clear as Collective Shout also posted a recent open letter on July 11th that is directly posted against payment processors and Valve's Steam storefront. In fact, in the open letter, they directly point towards all the presidents and executive officers of those main actual payment processors like PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, PaySafe Limited, Discover, Japan Credit Bureau, which we're going to talk about again as well later on. And at the same time, providing direct email documentation and templates to go ahead and mass email and flag down those payment processors to go against what they feel is morally justified on those specific platforms and use that pressure to determine what you can and cannot purchase, even though it is in fact perfectly legal to do so.
It's another case in point where people can't mind their business. They want everybody to have the same morality and the same existence as they do. Anybody that's different or likes anything different, they don't like it. I've seen a dystopian movie that, Yeah. Let's just put it this way. It was kind of like these people. Their morality, and they won the world, and holy shoot. That was a terrifying movie. And it wasn't even a horror film. It was a science fiction dystopian movie. It wasn't even a horror film, but it was terrifying.
In fact, on that website, they posted this paragraph saying this. Our research has shown that many...
What was it, Judge Dredd? Or was it another Sylvester Stallone movie where he went and started cursing out the machine and it started spitting out fines every time you say a cuss word? Because the world has a very strict morality. You say one curse word or you itch your crotch the wrong way and they give you a fine.
Many of these games would breach Australian classification laws. Most of the content found within the games, including the graphics and the developers' descriptions, are too distressing for us to include on our own website. One of our team members has done extensive research using her Steam account, and the content found includes
I think her Steam account needs to be
including
banned.
family members. This is the part that honestly truly pisses me off. It's the fact that a couple of screeching Karens over in Australia can truly get together and now decide what I can play on my Steam account depending upon what their morality is, because they want to pressure.
Well, to those Karens and to the Moms for Liberty and everything, I don't care about what you think is fine for people. I don't care about your morality, your religion, or anything like that. You can leave people alone. Okay? No one wants to watch freaking paint dry and listen to hymns. Because let me tell you something, I hate church music, okay? Thank you.
The payment processors and make them feel bad about it. This is just cancel culture.
This is what I think about your hymns and church music.
2.0 all over again. If they had their way, games like The Coffin of Andy and Laylee wouldn't be available for you to play at
Probably the same thing of Cult of a Lamb. Fun game, by the way. Fun game. I had the demo. Fun game.
all. Even though that game can be incredibly disturbing, it really goes to show that other people who do not understand what video games are as a true form of art should not have the ability to censor and push towards what other people can and cannot purchase because of their specific moralities.
Could somebody please explain to me whether Cult of a Lamb was a meme game? Was it made because it was like a meme game? That they just made it out of spite?
Really? Who the f*** are you to tell me what I can and cannot buy? As long as it's totally legal and you're not ending up on the Epstein files, really, I don't see what the issue truly is. Yeah, some games aren't made for you. That's okay. They just released Donkey Kong Bonanza. Go play that instead. Don't push what you feel and what your ideal morals are onto other people, because that is not your
No, Alex, they would have a problem with Donkey Kong Bonanza, too. They would have a problem with Monkey Ball. They would have a problem with Pitfall. Their kind of games is the Bible games for the NES. The Bible adventure games. Go look those up. Angry Video Game Nerd did a whole episode about it back in the day. Oh my god, I just referred to Angry Video Game Nerd in a YouTube video back in the day. It was well over a decade ago, I think. Holy crap, I mowed.
Responsibility. Take care of your own house before you start talking about what other people can and can't do.
Absolutely, mind your business. The society would be a hell of a lot better if people minded their business. Who cares what your neighbor is doing? If your neighbor is doing everything perfectly law-abiding, who the hell cares what your neighbor is doing? If you don't agree with your neighbor, shut the hell up and go about your day. Let your neighbor live his life or her life or their life, right? Oh, you're like, start clutching your pearls. Oh my god, my neighbor is waving the trans flag. Oh, they are so immoral. We don't like those people in our neighborhood. But meanwhile, you're the only one in the neighborhood who has a problem with it. And you cannot sleep at night or anything because of what your neighbors are doing. All because of a flag. This is happening, by the way. People are having strokes and heart attacks over rainbows and trans flags. Because they don't know how to mind their own business, and they want to be the morale police. Morale? Not like the morale, I can't pronounce. There's a morale mushroom and there's morality, I'm not the girl that can pronounce words, okay? English is hard sometimes.
With their money. And the fact that groups like Collective Shout even exist simply because they want to be the morality police on a bunch of things really goes to show that they truly do not understand the medium of video games, and they really just want to do one thing directly, and that is control the content that you consume. And sadly, it's already begun, because according to SteamDB on Blue Sky, Steam has added a new rule disallowing games that violate the rules and standards set forth by payment processors. And
payment processors should not be setting any rules.
card networks of internet network providers. At the same time, many themed games were removed from the store. SteamDB continues by saying this is possibly related to PayPal because people in certain regions have not been able to use it or pay on Steam for the past 5 years.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have PayPal anymore, and I may not have PayPal, because I think I'm going to boycott PayPal, too.
Days. And this is incredibly concerning. Number one, that Valve had to acquiesce to these payment processors in order to go through and remove those games listed. So that means internet service providers, credit card companies, PayPal, and others can now choose and dictate and bully other people and companies.
Can you imagine that your internet service provider cuts you off of internet because they don't like you watching Deadpool? Just using that for an example, because Deadpool has violence, Deadpool has comedy, and Deadpool has sexual content in it, right? But Deadpool is for mature audiences only. I love Deadpool with all my heart because it's got Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is cute and sexy and everything to boot. Imagine if your ISP sends you a termination letter because you were streaming from, where was it, Paramount? Is it on Disney or wherever, say, like, or you're just watching it on a YouTube rental, right? And they completely terminate your service, says, hey, we don't like that you're watching this movie on with your service, so we're going to have to terminate your service. Because we believe that it's not in good faith to be watching that kind of movie. Boy, I tell you what, I smell lawsuits.
In places on what is available for you to purchase.
I smell lawsuits, 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 lawsuits.
Even though
you hear that, Comcast? Lawsuits.
I don't like any of those games at all, and I see them basically as just a bunch of memes. There are, in fact, people that do not see this as a good sign.
I mean, there's several fiber internet providers that don't give a crap what their people do on the internet, to be honest with you. They don't have the equipment. They don't have anything to set and monitor, people's internet traffic, right? They don't care if you do stuff that's on the back web and getting movies or video games on the back web or the black web. They don't care. Really? They don't really care. The only thing that they really care about is if you're doing something really bad that's against the law that will get you on the Epstein list. That's the only time that they will turn you into law enforcement, is if your internet traffic has you doing Jeffrey Epstein stuff. But other than that, a lot of ISPs just don't care. Now, Comcast or Xfinity, they got lots of equipment. They're spying on you anyways. That's a proven fact. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Spectrum and a few others ain't spying on you. Cable companies can't be trusted, just saying.
Check this out. Starhawk on Blue Sky also said this. I'm sure most people can agree that those games are gross, but this is another case of payment processors dictating morality. What about when PayPal decides it doesn't like violence, or Visa decides it doesn't like bank robberies in GTA?
This makes me leery because I'm on a platform called Second Life. It's like a virtual world where you have literally a second life, and there's a lot of adult-themed things on that platform. It's, sadly, the adult-themed things are getting worse and worse on the platform, to be honest with you. But it's mainly all adults on the platform. They don't allow underage people on the platform anymore, I don't believe. And you can buy in-game currency, or in-world currency, or people call it a game. You can buy in-world currency, or you can work a job in a Second Life to earn currency. It's basically like real life. You know, you have to work a job in order to make your way, make money to buy stuff in world, right? So, you know, people will see it probably as a game, right? See Second Life as a game. I don't see it as a game. I see it more of a second part of your life than a video game, because there's no wins or no loses, and there's actual people behind the avatars that has feelings and everything else. But a lot of people refer to it as a game, and these people from the payment industry and collective shout and everything else might see it as a game, and they're like, you. And then you go and buy in-world currency, or you buy their premium stuff, and next thing you know, you're getting your stuff denied because the credit card companies says, well, sorry, but you can't do that because of our morality, so we cannot allow payment to go through to Linden Labs. And then, and then people actually take people that create and stuff, because it's a big business in Second Life for clothing and a lot of other stuff. People take that and they exchange Linden dollars for real life dollars, right? Imagine if they say you can't even do that. That would definitely hurt so many people, because people's actually made thousands of dollars by doing stuff like that in Second Life. Just saying. So that's actually, if they cut off any kind of a payment to Second Life, or any kind of transactions in Second Life, they're going to hurt a lot of people. And Linden Labs is a type of company to file lawsuits. Just saying. Now, you could do G-rated stuff, you can do PG-rated stuff, you can do mature-rated stuff, or you can do adult-rated stuff, right? There's something for everybody on the platform. I don't participate in the adult-themed stuff over there. Not like I had, but that was with my boyfriend at the time, and we were both in world, and couples, do stuff like that. So, but that was between me and him, and that was years ago. And we did adult themed stuff together, and what payment industry is going to say that you can no longer do that? What ISP is going to sit there and say you can no longer do that? Do you understand? Do you understand where this is kind of opening up Pandora's box of people that cannot mind their own business getting their way and stifling other people's fun and entertainment? And if you're the type of person that says you don't need to be putting your money on that, we support this initiative, well, you don't need this. You don't need to be doing what you're doing. You like to read books? Nope. If you can't allow us to do what we like to do fun, you can't do what you like to do fun. It works both sides of the street. You want to be for this, and you want to be part of the morale police, and you want to dictate how people spend their lives, what kind of entertainment people can do, well, the same can happen to you also. It works both sides of the street. Do you understand? Woo!
Why do these companies get to decide what legal things we buy? Starhawk is absolutely 100% correct. If the product is legal, if everything is above board, other companies and other Karens of Collective Shout and other credit card merchants should not be telling me what I can and cannot purchase. This falls under direct slippery slope. And even though people can call out and say it's a fallacy, how many times have you seen the slippery slope happen right in front of your face consistently over and over again? And like I said before, the craziest part is the fact that Valve had to acquiesce to this directly. And I know some of the arguments being levied.
Oh, Alex, you're just a gooner. You're just a degen. That's the only reason why you want this to go away, because you just want to all over the place because you're gross.
No, that's not it at all. This can impact so many people on either side of whatever spectrum you're on.
Absolutely.
It can impact developers who want to make a new violent game.
I
Remember
agree.
Hatred, how much flack that game got, and how Karens wanted to have that game removed, even though it really wasn't that good in the first place?
That game right there sucked. Talk about a piss poor made game. Just saying.
This can impact people on either sides of the aisle, regardless of what's happening directly
What
to
game
them
is that?
specifically. Simply because whatever the payment processor deems to be righteous or moral on their ethical standard is what they'll choose to go forward and allow to be purchased, which means it could be a massive clusterfuck of content no longer being available for you to buy. And like Starhawk said previously, what if one day, let's say Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal decide that they don't like loot boxes in video games?
There you go.
Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals,
Fortnite would be effed.
every other game, Wuthering Waves, that provides this kind of content for you.
That's Wuthering
gone,
Waves.
poof, off the network because they thought that their morality supersedes what you can do with the money that
Is
you're
that like a
actually spending in the
Fortnite,
first place.
surfing
That is the
game?
major issue of all of this. It's not about how much am I gonna goon today. It's more about how companies should not be dictating what I can and cannot buy. And it's not the first time they've done this. In fact, this
Fortnite-style
happened
gaming
last
with
year, and the
surfing.
creator of Nier, Yoko Taro, said this: "It's a security hole that endangers democracy itself."
That's
the Nier
right.
creator speaks
That's
out
right.
against payment processors pursuing Japanese adult content platforms. In fact, this also happened again in 2024 with Denpasoft tweeting this out. "Well, this is concerning. Received word a few minutes ago that we are forced to remove a large number of our titles from Denpasoft. Extremely disappointing, but considering what happened to DL site earlier this year, not entirely surprising.
Why is-
We'll have a write-up about this soon." And the write-up basically showed
caving.
all the titles that had to
They're
be
caving.
removed from Denpasoft's website from sale
They're caving.
simply because those merchants did not want that availability of content for you as a customer and consumer. In fact, it also happened earlier again this year with Niche Gamer pointing out how payment processors are also forcing Japanese retailers to remove adult games indefinitely from their stores. And
What?
it also happened as well for Japanese developers on Steam, as adult game devs in Japan
Japanese
can't
developers.
receive revenue from Steam as Japanese banks reportedly made
Look at this is what I'm saying. Japanese game developers, they rake in a lot of money from this stuff. Oh.
the comprehensive decision, quote unquote, to block transfers. And like I said, I get it. I don't like those games either, but I can simply go ahead and choose to just ignore them on my Steam store page. There's in fact a setting to do so. So you don't even have to know they even exist. And that's the problem with all of this. Steam has already given you, the consumer and customer, the ability.
I like to scroll through and see the silly names of these games. I mean, there's some titles of those games that absolutely make me laugh.
To ignore all of these games and all of these things that you don't want to see. You can even drill down to
Some of them are free, by the way.
the kind of genre you don't even want to look at as well. So it makes no sense while everybody else should have direct moral authority over you as a customer and consumer of what you can and cannot play. And the biggest fear of all of this isn't the fact that Magooning games are gone. It's the fact that where is going to be the line for them. And the real problem isn't the fact that they're going after those games.
It's like opening up Pandora's box.
It's the fact that we do not know where the morality line ends for these companies and corporations. Places like Collective Shout, they can then go ahead and choose to go through and go after games like Grand Theft Auto. Remember that
True.
entire hot coffee debacle we had back in the early 2000s?
Oh my
Everybody
God.
freaking out about that thing compared to what games are like today. It's almost like we're going back in reverse, where there's too much control from corporations and companies.
All right. I'm going to play another one here. Now, I want you guys to remember the Netflix cutie debacle that happened around, what was it, 2011, 2010, somewhere in there? That whole stuff where some directors was Epstein list ourselves on an actual movie, and there was a whole controversy around it. Well, that's going to come up in this next video with Collective Shout members. So stay tuned for this. This is going to be great. All right, are you ready?
I have a confession to make, and it's going to be a shocking one. So take a seat. I'm old. I know. It's wild to notice and just crazy to see. The grays in my beard are natural. I am, in fact, an old man. As the kids would say, you're a boomer. Have that seat. And when I do sit, I make an audible groan. And when I get up, my knees click and pop. It's not a fun time, I'll tell you what.
How about when you get up and you accidentally fart not knowing you farted? Is that just a girl thing, or does that happen to everybody, right? You get up, and then all of a sudden you get up, and you're hurting, you know, your back's hurting, your hips are hurting, and things like that. And you struggle to get up for a little bit, and all of a sudden you just fart. Is that just a girl thing, or does that happen to everybody?
The thing is, though, being so old, I've gotten to grow up with video games, and that's truly amazing. Seeing them from the NES.
Remember the Atari 2600? Oh, yeah.
All the way up until now, and watch
Battlezone. Tank game 2600. It's like a vector-like style game. And then we had to deal with disasters. That was the Pac-Man port on the Atari 2600. I don't know why that they did that. And then we had the very inappropriate ET that caused... No, it was part and mostly blamed for the video game crash from the 1980s. That's the reason why they took that game and buried it in landfills, and then they, later on, a few years ago or whenever it was, they decided to dig up those games out of the landfill, and now those games go for a lot of money. Why? Those games should have stayed in the landfill. E.T. was a horrible game. Can you imagine the people that got E.T. for the 2600 on Christmas? Oh my.
Them to go from a couple of sprites on screen to what they are today is truly insane.
I agree.
And just wild to watch. The problem, though, is during that time frame, I've also gotten to witness people going directly against video games themselves as a medium.
Remember Night Trap? The whole Night Trap debacle with Sega? You had to actually have the Sega CD attachment to do Night Trap? Remember the whole Mortal Kombat stuff before, you know, we got the ESRB? And was it Todd Howard or Todd Lincoln? I think it was Todd Howard or Todd Lincoln. The CEO of Nintendo that testified against Sega. That he thought he was Mr. Moral and Mr. Perfect and everything else. Sure you were, buddy. Sure you were. Nintendo, what Sega does.
And trying to restrict them wholeheartedly. In the mid-90s and early 2000s, we had people like Jack Thompson, who was saying things like Redneck Rampage, Doom, Quake, Mech Warrior,
I remember that guy,
and Grand Theft Auto were basically simulations, causing people that were young playing those games.
Oh, yeah, that was around that time that we had that event. And they were looking for anything to blame. They always blame video games, though. They did it back in the 90s. Remember there was an old guy who did that whole testimony during the Mortal Kombat thingy where he said that kids are going to start acting like Mortal Kombat. And then he decided that he was going to play the Mortal Kombat trailer where the kids are out there in New York or something screaming Mortal Kombat as evidence. You're actually going to use a commercial as evidence. They always try to blame video games. I mean, it was Mortal Kombat that actually got the ESRB, But then it was Night Trap, and there was another one. I forgot what the other one was. I think it was another Sega game. Or it might have been on PlayStation. I can't remember.
To become violent and have violent outbursts. Knowing now, though, that's completely untrue, and everybody basically knows that. The thing is, though, during that time frame, there were a couple of tragedies that were going on, and everybody was looking for something to blame. And after Jack Thompson, we had these...
No, see. Grand Theft Auto Online pissed me off. There's a guy that continuously stalked me on that game, and, you don't mess with women, trust me. The guy who was stalking me on Grand Theft Auto, he lost his expensive airplane, just saying, that he was trying to shoot me down.
Second person who would go after gaming as well, they got the most notoriety, and that was Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh, God.
She would call basically every game sexist, homophobic, and or racist, and then paint a broad brush onto gamers themselves.
I like thin eyelashes myself, but her eyelashes in that picture, they are not even. Ma'am, fix your eyelashes.
Basically just critiquing every single
I'm pretty sure I see a nose hair, too.
person there and just providing her own moral grandstanding onto everybody else without even...
But Anita Sarkeesian did not have any moral standings. She proved that.
understanding the medium on its own, calling something art and then trying to bastardize or change that art directly, which has always been kind of cringe to me. Now, though, in 2025, we enter with another group trying to do the exact same thing called Collective Shout, and instead...
Oh, is this the person from Collective Shout? Why does she got a different color hand? Look at her different color hand right there. And then we got different color tones of skin. That's an AI image of a person, isn't it? That's not a real person, is it? That's got to be AI because the skin is not matching. Look at the skin on the hands. Look at the skin on the hands. Look at the skin. Totally different. And look at the neck. Look at the little bitty square in the neck. This is an AI image, isn't it? Oh boy. If this is their image or this is the person that they're using, that's got to be AI.
Of just talking about gaming directly, they are going after payment processors to now force and censor what games are even available for you to purchase. And it's gotten so far that Steam had to fold and remove some NSFW content.
Steam should never have
Other
folded.
stores, however, has removed all that content completely.
No.
But you see, Collective Shout isn't the Puritan moral group that they claim to be. In fact, back in 2020, Melinda Tankard-Rice, who is in fact a co-founder of Collective Shout, made this tweet and Facebook post saying this: "Some thoughts on hashtag cuties and why I'm not joining the calls to ban." I want you guys to process this tweet real fast. The group that is trying to morally grandstand...
Well, look, that looks like her in that profile picture. But the lady in that main picture looked like an AI generated. 2 different color hands, messed up skin.
and protect women and children is going around saying that
Maybe she's got a weird medical condition.
they do not want to have calls to ban the
No, she AI'd herself, didn't she? She had to have.
literal movie that was literally doing the thing they are against. They don't want to ban that, but they want to ban the $1 game on Steam that was literally doing the thing. And children
Sorry, I got lost.
is going around saying that they do not want to have calls to ban the literal movie that was literally doing the thing they are against. They don't want to ban that, but they want to ban the $1 game on Steam that is the problem for them directly.
Exposed!
The genius of smarts happening in the industry
Exposed. 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 Exposed.
really shows the best part of all. But besides their insane blanket hypocrisy, other things have been happening as well. Because of their ability to go through and pressure payment processors, we are now seeing other major storefronts remove games from Steam that this group deems is unlikable and unplayable for you as a grown adult. Now, me personally, I don't enjoy these games at all. I've played one or two for the meme, and honestly, they're not good. They're just not. I mean, that's why they're 99 cents, literally. It's basically just become a meme now on my stream where people gift them to me and I accept them, and they just kind of, you know, try to embarrass me all the time. What
is it? My landlord is Furinari. My girlfriend is Furinari. My stepmom is Furinari. My stepsis is Furinari. My therapist is Furinari. Oh my God!
Kind of find really funny, actually. The thing is, though, a small group of people in Australia are now trying to push their own morals and ethics onto payment processors, which are then directly impacting these storefronts and trying to tell you what you can and cannot purchase directly. You see, they tried the same thing back in the early 2000s with Grand Theft Auto, where they were in fact successful.
They won? Oh my God!
At removing GTA from store shelves like Target and Kmart. So in reality, there is no line for them, and showcasing their hypocrisy goes even further, because if they're willing to defend cuties, but they're trying to take down GTA, what is to say?
Hey, Collective Shop, guess what I'm doing right now? I'm giving you the one finger salute.
Their next game that they want to take down isn't going to be the one that you enjoy specifically. And I can guarantee you they would love to have a win over something like Grand Theft Auto 6 being pulled from shelves. But unfortunately, there have been some issues along the way. Like I said before, Valve removed a couple of those games requested off of Steam, but itch.io has gone a step further.
Oh, no.
In fact, they made a statement like
they caved, didn't they?
This here. We have de-indexed all adult NSFW content from our browse and search pages. We understand this action is sudden and disruptive, and we are truly sorry for the frustration and confusion caused by the change. Recently, we came under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted on itch.io due to a game titled No Mercy, which was temporarily available on itch.io before being banned back in April. The organization Collective Shout launched a campaign against Steam and itch.io, directing concerns to our payment processors about the nature of certain content found on both platforms. Our ability to process payments is critical for every creator on our platform to ensure that we can continue to operate and provide a marketplace for all developers. We must prioritize our relationship with our payment partners and take immediate steps towards compliance. This is a time-critical moment for itch.io. The situation developed rapidly, and we had to act urgently to protect the platform's core payment infrastructure. Unfortunately, this meant it was not realistic to provide creators with advance notice before making this change. We know this is not ideal, and we apologize for the abruptness of this change. We are currently conducting a comprehensive audit of content to ensure we can meet the requirements of our payment processors. Pages will remain de-indexed as we complete our review. Once this review is complete, we will introduce new compliance measures for NSFW pages. This will include a new step where creators must confirm that their content is allowable under the policies of the respected payment processors linked to their account. Part of this review will see some pages being permanently removed from itch.io. Affected accounts will be notified via their account email address from our support address. You can reply to that email if you have any follow-up questions. We ask for your patience and understanding as we navigate this challenging period. I'm sorry we cannot share more at this time, as we're still getting full understanding of the situation ourselves. We will post a follow-up on our blog if the situation changes. Thank you. That is incredibly terrifying. The fact that a group of Karens can literally walk around and pressure payment processors, enforcing their morality onto these companies.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to go ahead and say what I overheard. It's alleged right now, but where there's smoke, there's usually a fire, right? Because a lot of people on TikTok, and there was a news journalist that was actually talking about it, how social media um, um, wants to introduce a morality check, or basically a morality police. They will check and see whether your posts go against, not community guidelines, no, this is different, but they will make sure that your post complies with their morality, or what they believe that the morality should be on their site. So instead of getting a community guideline violation, you may get a morality violation. Are we slowly becoming like China and their social credit system? But instead of just one country, it's the whole damn world. How can a group of Karens get their way like this? It should be against the law. There should be a law in every country to prevent this, but we have people in our own country, right here in the United States, that says, well, I agree with this. You know, we agree with this, and our citizens need better morality. If they can't choose the correct morality, well, we should choose for them. So you're not going to see any changes from the United States in the next few years. Other countries has got to stop these people. And that's the cold hard facts. But the fact that social media may introduce a morality thing is terrifying in itself. Because that means I can't call out Donald Trump no more.
To go ahead and say, hey, look, we don't like this game. You need to remove this game from sale, because if not, we're going to make enough of a stink on here.
Again, Facebook, I swear Facebook thinks I'm underage. Anyways.
And this is the bigger issue of all. Regardless of how you actually manage your money, you are dealing with these payment processors. It doesn't matter what bank you go to, how you handle it, or what kind of place you go to. If your debit card says...
I guarantee once lawyers get involved, things are going to change. Collective Shout. Moms for Liberty. Once lawyers get involved... I should be doing that.
Visa, MasterCard, or PayPal, or anything else like that, you are dealing with a payment processor. There is no ability to maintain with cash anymore, because they're not going around and simply saying you can't buy this. They are literally removing the game from sale completely. You can't purchase it, period, point blank, no matter what. And it's gotten to the point as well.
What are they going to go as far as, you know, I'm going to, like, say, like, I want to purchase a racing game, right? And say, like, Visa or MasterCard or American Express or whatnot. They say, well, we can't allow you to purchase that racing game because we think racing is a sin and it goes against our morality. So are you going to deny people tickets to actual racing events too? That sounds like a Taco Bell one.
Where there are people going around saying it's not just the games being de-indexed from the actual storefront, these are games being removed from our inventory and the games we purchased as well.
Oh my god, they're removing games that you purchased too? Isn't that against the law?
In fact, on itch.io's own Twitter post about this, there is...
Once you purchase it, you should still have access to it. Them removing... That's basically you don't have ownership. Again, this proves you do not have ownership of anything. If they can completely remove the games that you done purchased or magazines or whatnot that you done purchased right out of your library that you already purchased, oh my god, this is a legal nightmare.
In fact, a community note reading this. itch.io has not just delisted games, but removed them from the libraries of people who have paid for them.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
Without refunds. They do not acknowledge this anywhere, posting a
bullshit. Get lawyers, people.
Link to a forum where that is happening to certain people. This, in my personal opinion, is a massive overreach and major issue with groups like Collective Shout. We're not talking about simply people being angry and Karens throwing a fit about a video.
It's time to follow? Am I stroking? It's time to file lawsuits.
Game. No, we're talking about people who are going around and literally Thanos snapping games away from you simply because they don't like it. And what they're doing is they're applying their own morality onto the payment processors to then say, hey, look, did you know that your payment processors are dealing with these kinds of games? You should remove that directly, because that would be a really bad look if, like somebody said something about people buying a video game like this with a Visa card. Now, wouldn't that? That'd be horrible now, wouldn't it? Basically being the Karens and hall monitors of video games. And the worst part about it is this is not content that is illegal. It is legal, purchasable content. Even though people may not like it, like myself, I don't personally enjoy it, or you may not enjoy it. Who's to say that these Karens or other people like them who want to push...
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean other people don't.
The boundaries of what is available for you to purchase won't do that to a game that you enjoy. Remember, Collective Shout did the exact same thing to Grand Theft Auto back in the 2000s. Who's to say they won't do that again?
Right.
And that's where the slippery slope comes into play. Now, I know that's a fallacy for a lot of people, but we've seen it happen more and more and over and over. And the fact that itch.io didn't just remove a few games being listed, they de-indexed and removed games from libraries of anything regarding...
Nope, I'm not getting tripped over by eyelashes.
Regarding NSFW content is the real massive concern. Who's to say that mature-rated games won't be next?
Right.
Who's to say that games like either Counter-Strike or Payday or anything else that's popular as well won't be part of that next system?
And Second Life.
People were coming after me saying like, oh, Alex, you're just a gooner. You're just a big pervert because you're defending NSFW games. And that's where I think a lot of the people are getting stuck on. It's not about defending NSFW games. It's about the fact that I know how these things happen because I'm old enough to see the history.
It's like Pandora's box.
History of it happening over and over again. We saw it with Jack Thompson. We saw it with Anita Sarkeesian. And now we're seeing it directly with...
And you can't forget about the trials between Sega, Nintendo, Night Trap, and Mortal Kombat.
Collective Shout.
That reminds me. Did you know that the Atari 2600 had adult video games? You're probably going to say, Angel, how the hell can the Atari 2600 have adult video games? They can. They can. And it is really bad games that you get the basic gist of what's happening inside those games. But it literally is like adult video games with, you have to use your imagination type of stuff. I mean, they put Porky's. Remember the movie Porky's? They put that on the Atari 2600. So yes, how primitive the 2600 was, they had adult video games on the 2600, and I'm old. I just aged myself.
Problem is, you do not know the morality of these people, and you do not know the line at which they're willing to cross. And honestly, what happens is they always push more and more to what they feel is appropriate for them and what they feel is appropriate for you to consume as a grown adult and individual. And that is the real problem between all of this. Seeing just a few people exert this much power and this much force onto an industry by simply going after the processors of payments is the real...
Yeah, they shouldn't... I hate the fact that people can't mind their own business. People can't leave people alone. If people like to play adult video games, what's the harm? And the fact that these credit card companies are being the moral police, that's Pandora's box, if you ask me.
problem. And the fact that these middlemen are adhering and kowtowing to these people
I agree.
is even worse, because it goes to show that they don't have a backbone. And it's not about your bank or using cash or doing anything along that nature. They are
Yeah, because if you use cash and the store bans stuff, you can't even buy it there.
simply just telling the storefronts, if you do not remove this, we will stop the ability for you to process payments, which means that every other game that is
And yet, taking games out of people's library
not
that you already paid for.
NSFW, or that is
Steam's not doing that, but itch.io is.
a normal video game, will no longer have that payment be processed for that storefront. It is direct censorship
It is.
of the highest order, simply because a few cackling old blue-haired hags want to go around and determine what is
I
viable
agree.
for you
I
to play
agree.
and not to play. Everybody who's against this or is trying to criticize it isn't seeing the forest from the trees, because when it's a game that you like, that you want to play, that is now being attacked by these same people, don't come crying to me about it. In fact, other developers have even taken notice of this as well. Running with
All right, let's see. Oh,
Sisters tweeted,
Postal Jam. Whoa! Okay. You need to calm down, YouTube. I don't know what just happened, but chill, relax, smoke a bowl.
This might affect our yearly Postal Jam events, since they have been hosted on itch.io, and the new regulations might restrict things too much to the point of ruining your creativity and amount of violence in your games. We might need to find a new home to host the game jams, so feel free to suggest any. Until then, we can assure you that the third edition of the Postal Jam is still underway as scheduled and will feature the winning games one way or another. Upload your game through itch as instructed for now. Oh, and collective shout, go yourselves, you sanctimonious pieces of diseased rat. Oof, yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less from the developers of Postal, to be honest. But the thing is, they're actually 100% correct. Right now, it's about those games on Steam that are easy targets. But as they continue to gain ground and use more and more of their power and authority over payment processors, who's to say what game they won't focus on
That's
next?
right.
And this isn't just collective shout. Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal and others have also
Yeah, it's like the analogy that I used earlier. Say, like, you walk into a restaurant and order a turkey club sandwich, and you want avocado and extra bacon and things like that on your sandwich, and you get to the payment thing, and you go and swipe your credit card, and it says payment denied because they believe that you should not be eating that sandwich. Yeah. I mean, it's like the same thing, right? That you go into a restaurant and you're hungry and you get the turkey club sandwich and you get a bubble tea and things like that, and then your credit card gets denied because it says because they don't believe that you should be eating that sandwich. It's the same analogy if you go into a movie theater. Say, like, you go into a movie theater and you want to watch Deadpool. And you go and swipe your credit card, and it says credit card denied, that we cannot process payment of this credit card because you're watching a movie that we don't think is moral for you to be watching that movie. They're doing it with video games. They're trying to do it with magazines. Who says that they can't do it with movies? You know? Or sandwiches. I mean, this is like the payment people are caving to these people. They're like being the old morale police. What's next? They're going to tell you what kind of toilet paper do you use?
been targeting Japan for their content. So even removing collective shout out of the picture, this has been happening to Japan for the last few years already.
Japan.
Japanese politicians are catching note of this directly.
Yay!
And what collective shout is doing, and they're calling it out because this is an actual catalyst of what's been happening in Japan. We talked about this last week, as many places in Japan were removing content that these payment processors felt was immoral or unable to be purchased because of how they associated with that directly, completely disregarding all the laws of those countries specifically, yet trying to impose their own morality basically onto other countries and regions. And if you think it's stopping there,
I'm going to say yay once again that the politicians from other countries are taking note. Good, 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 good.
this also applies
Go get them, Japan and other countries.
to a lot of game journalists. Look at this review of
Oh,
Wu
God,
Chang
here we
Fallen
go.
Feathers
Here we
from
go.
The Gamer,
Here we
the
go.
pros and cons especially, where they gave the game a 3 out of 5, but yet the cons right here on the bottom say this: an uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This puritanical, self-aggrandizing
As a woman, I have to say that that game was fine.
moral grandstanding behavior of game journalists. Hell, it happened a few days ago with Xbox Era as well, saying things like Wu Chang was Gooner approved, even though
Where did these people come from?
that joke didn't land at all for anybody. Yet also on thegamer.com, Tessa Kerr wrote this article, and this one paragraph I think explains everything in perfect detail. However, I do not consider myself to be the moral arbiter of kink or sexuality. Who decides what gets to exist and what the masses are allowed to consume? I definitely do not think that credit card companies should be the moral arbiters of kink or sex
No,
either,
or anything.
which is the role they
They should not be stopping anything that's legal. They should just mind their own business. Stay out of people's lives.
seem to be taking by deciding what can pass through them. And by nature of being the biggest payment processors in the world, they in turn get to impose censorship on platforms external to them. And Tessa is absolutely 100%
I agree.
correct. Seeing this insane dichotomy between two different people in the same publication really goes to show that people are in fact either A, trying to morally grandstand, B, gain good boy points, or C, not even realize their hypocrisy when they're the exact same people trying to go ahead and ban whatever they feel is morally incorrect, yet turn around and shit, piss, come and queef themselves when the Baldur's Gate 3
Did he really just say queef?
bear sex scene happened. Oh, don't act like nobody saw or noticed, by the way, where everybody was gooning all over themselves over Baldur's Gate 3 characters, and it didn't matter who you were or where you were from, everybody was making that Rule 34 fan art.
There's Rule 34 fan art about everything, to be honest.
My personal favorite, Karlach. I'm a Karlach man myself.
Oh my god, she looks like a really cute lesbian! Oh my goodness!
She's a sweetheart and must be protected at all costs.
I agree.
And the more insane part of all of this is that all that content was literally legal. It was legal to purchase. You didn't have to go on tour. There wasn't anything associated where you needed to use Bitcoin to buy that kind of product. It was right there available for purchase. If it was illegal, then it would have been taken down and legal ramifications would have happened. Which, yeah, if that illegal content is being posted up, yes, lock them up. But these same people are acting as if they're the moral arbiters, yet turning around and defending things like cuties of all things.
I don't understand that. I mean, Cuties was horrible. You got people into trouble. I think some people went to jail in France over that.
Again, it's not about, oh, gotta protect the goon. It's about the morality and the fact that other people are trying to dictate to you as a consumer and a gamer what you can and cannot purchase. And the bigger issue is, where is the line going to be drawn next? So with all that being...
Yeah, I mean, the line, like I said, that's where I was given the examples, right? The line, right? The line could be like, you know, the line can be like, it could go from video games, magazines, to movies, to everyday items, to restaurant food, right? So, I mean, what's stopping them? And that's the terrifying part about all of this. That's the really terrifying part about all of this. Is that, you know, so it's like over 100 degrees inside this computer, by the way. Just want to throw it out there. So, yeah. But, you know, like I was sitting there saying, you know, They could go after Second Life too, and no one could be able to process their payments with Second Life because Second Life has a lot of adult themed stuff, right? So, not everybody participates in it, but you know, they could just do that too, right? Who says they're not, right? So that's the thing too. So I mean, like I said, I only participated in adult themed stuff once with my boyfriend that I had many years ago, and maybe possibly with a girlfriend that I had many years ago as well, but I don't remember that. But um, yeah, I mean, me and her relationship was very, very short because she went to jail. Yeah, so, yeah, I, I don't think me and her did any adult stuff. The only time I ever did adult stuff was with my boyfriend, and I don't remember the rest. But for multiple years, I have never participated in any adult stuff in Second Life. I don't have the need to, and things like that, right? So, but other people do, and that's fine. I don't care what people do. Should people be able to buy their premiums? Should people be able to buy their Linden Dollar? Yeah. I purchased Linden Dollars before. So, should I be able to not be able to buy Linden Dollars? Because other people do sexual stuff? See, just because I don't, I shouldn't be punished by the morale police, right? Just because they do, they should not be punished by the morale police. You understand? If people want to participate in the adult content stuff, should they be punished? If it's 100% legal, should they be punished? No. Should I be punished for games I play that might have had a few suggestives, or I'm pretty for sure that there's a sex scene in Dragon Age Origin. I think there was. I'm not for sure, but that's an old game, right? But should that game be taken away from me? No. It's in my library. It's on EA. Should it be taken away from me? No. Should I not be allowed to purchase Xbox Game Pass because there are some violent games because GTA's on there? No. I shouldn't... Wait, should I... Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is that just because those games on there, should I not be able to purchase it? No, I should be able to purchase it, right? So, because, well, first of all, you can mess around in GTA and get lost in GTA and wreck your car 100,000 times and, just have fun. Or you could try to fly a helicopter and crash it several times. And, the game is quite boring actually to me, but I still like to have fun with it. And I had it when I had it on Game Pass. Should people tell me that I should be able to play it? No, no one should be able to tell me that I should not be able to play it. Because I'm over the age of 18, or over the age of 21, too, I should be able to play any game that I want to without the morality police. If you like to play those Furinari games, you should be able to. No one should be able to tell you what you can and cannot do. That's the moral of the story. Because it's censorship. It's censorship. And where's the line? If they're going to continue to get their way, where's the line? I'm so glad that Japan is stepping up. I hope other countries step up and stop this crap from happening. Because it soon will trickle to other games. It soon will trickle to movies and other forms of entertainment, probably even music. And audiobooks. And since they want to be the morale police, they probably tell you what you can and cannot eat too. Because there's people out there that are that damn crazy. They can't mind their own business. They want people to live by their rules and their way of life. And they can't handle it that tens of thousands of other people live their own lives. People can't mind their own business. And this is the moral of the story. Mind your business. Leave people alone. You have your own moralities. Live your life by your own moralities. And leave the rest of the world alone. Because the rest of the world is different than you. And does not have the same moralities than you. Leave people alone. But I'm glad that Japan is stepping up. I'm glad that other countries may be stepping up. Because this needs to be stopped. This needs to be stopped before it gets worse. I'm against censorship. This is censorship. And I'm against it. Yeah, I may like to play wholesome games like Bluey and things like that, but I like to play racing games too. I like to play other games that deals with demons and things like that. And I should be able to play those games because there are some Christian morality people out there that'd be like, well, we don't like those kind of games. They're already trying to get my favorite show taken off of YouTube. Hell of a Boss. Because they want to be the morality police. They're already going after entertainment, some groups are. They don't want Hell of a Boss even on YouTube. And I'm like, leave my favorite TV show alone. I don't have many TV shows that I watch, and Hell of a Boss is one of them. And I love that show. I've been watching it ever since season 1. It's my favorite form of entertainment. It gives me something to talk about because I love Hell of a Boss. So after every Hell of a Boss, I like to come and make videos. I used to do it on my other channel that I shut down. Beautiful Angel Blossom Streams or whatever I used to call that channel. And then I started doing it over here whenever I shut down that channel. And I absolutely adore Hell of a Boss. It's a great show. And the morality police need to leave it alone. So, the thing about it is that we're talking about video games here, but they're already trying to do it here in America. They're already trying to take regular TV programs and internet programs down that people like to watch. Is it fair? No. They haven't caved yet, but they put Has Been Hotel on Prime, and new episodes of Hell of a Boss is also going on Prime, but they said it's staying on YouTube, but I haven't seen any new episodes of Hell of a Boss yet, so maybe it's coming at the end of the year. I don't know, but I hope it stays on YouTube too, because Prime is so expensive that I won't be able to watch my favorite shows. And if it went to Prime, that means that the morale police won. And that's bad. So, like I said, can't people mind their own business? Is it so hard to mind your own business and leave people alone? And to the payment companies, stop dictating what people can and cannot buy. To the ISPs, leave people alone. If they're not doing anything against the law, leave people alone. My gosh. We don't need the morality police, okay? Anyways, I'm going to probably go try to take a shower before bed and other stuff. So, sorry about this rant, but I had to get it off my chest. And I had to cover this because I'm against censorship 100%. And this type of stuff pisses me off. Because it involves entertainment that I like, video games. And if the video games and stuff that I like to do get censored. I don't like that too well. And I don't like that other people are getting censored either. So it's not fair. It's not fair for anybody. And they're already doing the morale police. They keep on trying to get YouTube to can and take off Hell of a Boss. I done seen petitions already on social media about that. And that makes me even more aggravated. So, anyways, I will see you guys later. Let's hope that social media does not have their own morale police, or we're all doomed. Anyways, take care, everybody. Peace, love, and hugs. Be kind to each other. I'll see you on the next video and or live streams. Bye-bye for now.